How Awolowo betrayed Ojukwu and cost Igbo the Biafran War. The main purpose of this write-up isn't to undermine any tribe, but to inform posterity the reality of what exactly happened. It's so unfortunate that history is carefully omitted from the curriculum of our academic system, and this has led to the breeding of blind graduates who don't even understand Nigerians' past today or maybe the longer term. And any nation without thorough knowledge of their history always finishes up a confused nation. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Yoruba hero and idol, was imprisoned in 1963 for treason. It must be stated categorically here that the political purpose of the primary Igbo coup of January 15, 1966, spearheaded by Majors Emmanuel Ifejuna and C.K. Nziogo, was to release Awolowo from prison and make him president. Ifejuna, who happens to be the primary African to win a trophy at the Commonwealth Games, later a serious within the army and therefore the man who shot Tafawa Balewa, made this very clear in his unpublished manuscript given to Chino Achebe Nzogo by Olusegun Obasanjo. In fact, the Igbo majors appointed Captain Nzogo, who is that the first Nigerian military pilot to fly to Calabar and release Awolowo, but unfortunately, the coup failed and Ironsi, whom the January boys hated, reaped from a coup he never sowed in. However, when Murtala Muhammad staged his reprisal coup on 29th July 1966, it must be noted that the northern coup was very successful, but it failed within the east because Lieutenant Colonel David Baba Ogunewe acknowledged of the coup within the dark and was ready to suppress the action in the east. Ogunewe's professional actions was what saved Ojukwu that night of 29th July 1966. Lieutenant Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu was the governor of the Eastern region during Muritala reprisal coup. In those days, Calabar was under the defunct Eastern region and Awolowo was detained at Calabar prison. The Northern-led counter-coup by Muritala ushered in Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Jack Gowon as head of state, which led to Ojukwu refusing to acknowledge Gowon as head of state and created a schism between the Eastern region and therefore the federal. However, Ojukwu, working on his own, released Awolowo from Calabar prison just an equivalent way he released the January boys detained within the Eastern region. It is so unfortunate that General Gowon is responsible, claiming he released Awolowo from prison. I want to remind Gowon that he took over power on August 1st, 1966, and there before that 1st August for 3 days, 29th, 30th, and 31st of 1966, there was no leader in Nigeria due to the interior tussle between Muritala, who masterminded the coup, and Gowon, who reaped the coup, also because the northern original intention was breaking out of Nigeria. Ojukwu was firmly on top of things of the eastern region before Gowon took over. And even when Gowon took over, Ojukwu rejected him immediately because they were of an equivalent rank, and Gowon wasn't the proper officer to require overpower. Since there were about 3 to 4 senior officers above Gowon in terms of military hierarchy after the assassination of Ironsi, I wonder how someone that was immediately rejected will release Awolowo from prison, and which of the forces was sent to release Awolowo without the knowledge of Ojukwu, who was firmly on top of things of the eastern region. Go on, please say the reality before you allow this world. You are presently 85 years old this year. Kindly say the reality to the younger generations. Ojukwu brought Awolowo to the State House at Enugu and created a telephone line from Awolowo's hometown, Ikene, to his bedroom at the State House, Enugu. Ojukwu and Awolowo had a radical revolution of things and position of the Igbo's as at then, and Awolowo made it very clear to Ojukwu that if the East is forced to succeed from Nigeria, that he will pull out the West from Nigeria. If Awolowo had kept his promise to the 33 years old Ojukwu, the Biafran war would never have fought. Because the North can't survive a war on two vast fronts, and it's likely to possess lead to the center belt, leaving the North also. And but in the least, the North went ahead of fight the war. Stage of the war would are within the North, and therefore the expenses would have forced the Gowon's government to abandon the entire project. Awolowo was highly respected by Ojukwu and everyone Igbo's he knows. He wasn't only an excellent man but a really brilliant man. He was fully aware that Nigerian can't work and it had been a scam. The Igbo sacrificed tons for Awolowo. The Igbo January boys placed their lives, their tribe, and career on the road for him during the coup, and Ojukwu believed his promise as father to son and counter on him. But his many thanks to the Igbos was to urge home and betray the young Ojukwu due to his personal ambition. Gowon made him a suggestion of President and Minister of Finance of his wartime cabinet and perhaps a presidential slot after the war. But unfortunately did not address him during the 1979 presidential election against the Fulani Shagari. They even used Abiola and his newspapers to betray him, an equivalent way he betrayed Ojukwu. Awolowo was the one who advised Gowon to dam food supplies in Biafra, which led to the starvation of over 1 million Biafran kids during the war. It was Awolowo, not Dr. Clement Isong, that advised Gowon to vary the Nigerian pounds, so on render the Biafrans financially useless in purchasing weapons. In fact, the Igbos were ready to wage that war probably due to Ojukwu's connection as someone whose father was the richest man in Nigeria and West Africa as at 1966, with an estimated net worth of over $4 billion. And to add, even after Awolowo's betrayal, Ojukwu had another chance to acquire Lagos by storm and surprise and to overthrow Gowon during the Midwest invasion. But unfortunately, he stupidly handed such a golden opportunity to a different Yoruba called Colonel Victor Banjo, who only need to Benin, contacted his fellow Yorubas in Lagos and sabotaged the entire operation. He was later executed by Ojukwu. Jackson Daniel may be a poet, historian, academic scholar, orator, and author of 48 Guns, for the overall. Thank you for listening to this news. Viewers, well, I would say I don't know so much about this history, but the reason why I do agree with this writer is that since I was born, I have never hear from Yorubas one day that they want to leave Nigeria. So it's likely they are comfortable with the situation and cannot even govern themselves with all the leaders that they have. So my viewers, this is a little